Hello. Okay, I'm going to do this tutorial in several different parts so you can really follow along when you have your 3D palette and you have your brush. This is going to be great if you are a beginner with Saint, or maybe you've been with Saint for a little while and you're just trying to perfect your application. So if you are new to Saint, grab the brush that I color matched you to, which is probably going to be the 3D brush, and grab your palette. The first thing that we are going to start with, and keep in mind, I did already set my face with our Stay Spray. This is an optional step. If you have questions about priming your face, message me and we can talk about it. So I've already primed my face. I'm going to go ahead and jump into my makeup application, and I am using my 3D brush, and I am going to start with my contour shade. So I'm going to use the bigger side of this brush, and I'm going to get that contour shade on my brush. Okay, I'm going to start at the top of my ear and really feel out that cheekbone and go to about the outside of my eye. So starting at the top of my ear, and as you can tell, I have done no color correcting or anything. So this is what we were starting with. I'm getting a little bit more on my brush just to define that contour line. Do not worry about being messy. You can blend cream makeup so easily. Just do it before you set it. Now we're going to put some contour on our forehead. And I like to connect my contour on my forehead to my cheek contour. So I'm gonna lightly just kind of have those lines touching. And then I'm gonna put some on my jawline. So essentially you're making a 3, okay? And I'm just going back over that. You can always apply a little bit more. I always start out light first. You will be surprised with cream makeup. Less is actually more. Do the same thing over here. I am starting at the top of my ear, and that is my cheekbone. So the higher you go with your contour, you're going to chisel out and make your cheekbones look a little bit higher. So you have to kind of feel out what kind of look you are going for. And then again, whatever's left on my brush, I will put on my jawline. Now I'm going to switch to the smaller side of the 3D brush. This is the pointy side. I'm going to get a little bit more contour on there, and I'm going to contour my nose. This is obviously a very optional step. And I'm going to lightly just kind of take that up to my brows. So rule of thumb with your nose contour, the closer that your lines are together on top of your nose, the thinner your nose will appear. And then I'm just gonna take it around this little ball on my nose to chisel that out a little bit, okay? Just leave it like that for a little bit. Then I'm gonna get a little bit more on my brush. And there are smaller brushes, so if you feel like this brush is too big, this is not the brush that I technically or normally use to do my like nose contour or lip contour, but it's totally doable with one brush. I'm just gonna put a little bit right there underneath my lip just to make it look a little bit more fuller. Now again, we have smaller brushes that if you want to line your whole lip with your contour shade, you can, and it will absolutely make them look a little bit more fuller. Okay, done with part 1. Okay, we are back for part 2 of this look. Sticking with my 3D brush, sticking with my Saint palette, I am moving on to my foundation shade. We are really going for a 1-layer makeup look, so we're not doing a ton of color correcting. If you want to color correct, let me know and I can absolutely color match you to some colors to color correct. You saw my skin at the beginning of this video. You will see how this makeup transforms and the coverage that it really gives with just 1 layer of makeup. Okay. So foundation shade. This is my foundation shade. I'm using the dome side of this brush, same brush. I'm going to get a little bit of that on there. And I'm just going to kind of place it in these areas. So underneath your contour, on both sides. And I haven't blended it yet, right? So I'm just kind of placing it where I want it, and then I will go in and blend it. Because some of it, like, I really didn't need that much down there, so I can take some of that and place it in other areas. So underneath your contour, chin, right above your lip, I'm going to take a little bit of it and go right above that contour shade. Getting a little bit on the side of my nose. A little bit above that contour on the side of my nose. So you can really tell I have nothing under my eyes right now because those dark circles are really starting to show through. We're going to go just a teeny bit above our brows. You really do not need much. I go very light above my brows. So right now I have nothing right here, nothing between my contour lines, and nothing under my eyes. Okay, so that is part 2. Still, it's not completely blended. We will get there, but that is part 2, foundation shade. Okay, back for part 3 on this look. If you do not have a cleaning towel in your palette, I highly recommend it. A towel works, or paper towel too, but this is nice because it's just in your compact. So I am brushing off both sides of my brushes just to make sure they're clean because I'm using the same brush for multiple shades. And now I'm going to go in with my accent shade, or your concealer. So this is going to be a couple shades lighter than my foundation shade and my skin tone. I'm going to use the pointy side of this brush. I'm going to go right here in the corner and right here on the edge and take it about up to my temple, okay? Corner, about to my temple. I'm going to put this color right between those contour lines on my nose. You can also just use your finger if you want. We're going to put a little bit right there. You can put a little bit here if you want, in here, okay? Now I'm going to take the bigger side of this brush and I'm going to start blending a little bit. So I'm just going to go around and push these shades into my skin. And this is going to help the makeup like adhere to my skin rather than swiping it all around. I always like to take my shade like right across my eyeshadow and at the end of my eyebrow, just to kind of give my eyeshadow a point. See how it just gives it a little bit of a point? You do not have to have any skill level to achieve the best look of this makeup. Okay, so now we're gonna lightly just blend out these contour lines. And I'm just doing that with the side of this brush. And then I'm just going to take my finger and kind of like lightly push in that accent shade in the middle of my nose. Okay. Always looks weird until it is completely put together. So now what I'm going to do is I have all my shades on. I'm going to go ahead and just blend this contour shade on my forehead. And I'm just going in circular motions to blend that. Okay, we have not blended our cheek yet. We will do that in the next step. I'm just kind of going around, making sure everything is blended, and then we will move to step 4. Okay, step 4. We are going to use Black Cherry and Pinky Promise All of our lip and cheek colors go as a blush, also as a lipstick, and you can also use them as an eyeshadow. So I'm going to use both of these colors for my cheeks and my lips today. You only have to use one, but they're in my palette, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you. So back to the 3D brush, I'm going to start with Black Cherry. Do not be scared of the color in the tin because they are going to look so much different on your skin than they do in this tin. All right, so, and they're very pigmented, so they're going to last you a lifetime. Okay, so I'm kind of taking this up a little bit. Same thing over here. We're almost going to do like an ombre cheek color, okay? Then we're going to go in with Pinky Promise. And we're going to kind of put that right on the beginning of our cheek. Almost like the apple of your cheek. Okay? And then, again, here's where your brush cleaning tile will come in play. Clean it off a little bit, because if you have any excess color and you're trying to blend it, you probably won't be able to blend the way you want to. So now I'm just going to push these colors into my skin to blend them. And you can see that I'm going almost all the way up to my temple. Okay, so now we have that blended in. Let's go to step 5. Okay, step 5, and I'm just going to use my fingers for this. So we're going to use the same colors that we used on our cheeks on our lip. So Black Cherry, I'm going to put that, see how dark it looked in the tin? It is not that dark on the skin. So pretty. All right, now I'm going to take Pinky Promise and just go right in the middle a little bit. Okay. So now what we're going to do, so we could go a couple extra steps and do bronzer and do illuminator, but we're not going to do all that today. Now I'm going to go to step, I believe it is 6, and show you how to set your makeup. Okay, step 6. So you have to set your makeup, you have to set your cream makeup, or so it doesn't crease throughout your day and it stays in place all day long. So my favorite setting powder is Airspun. It is cheap. You can get it from the drugstore, from like just about any drugstore for about $7. It is heavy. So if you have dry skin, I don't recommend this. I've also been trying out Fenty Beauty, which in shade Lavender, and I like it so far. I haven't been using it a ton to say I love it more than Airspun. It's definitely more expensive, but I'm going to get some in the top, and I'm using my Perfector sponge. And get some of that on there and just tap off the excess. And place that under your eyes. And I'm kind of just pressing that in. But if you have really dry skin, just reach out to me and I can recommend some setting powders for you. We have one called the Vanilla Setting Powder. If you have very dry skin, I highly recommend it. It's very light, but it will absolutely help keep your makeup in place all day. Now you want to let this sit for like 3 to 5 minutes. So if you haven't done your eyes, or maybe you need to go do something around your house for like 3 to 5 minutes, make your bed, whatever it may be, do that. Just let this sit for a few minutes. I'm basically putting this in all the areas where I get somewhat oily. I would say I have more combination skin. It's not super oily, it's not super dry. But certain areas get a little bit more, you know, like oily than others. Okay. So that's where I'm placing it. I know I look super insane. I'm going to let that sit for 3 to 5 minutes and then I will come back and show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, we are back. So you can tell that some of the powder has like absorbed into my skin. So what is left, I'm gonna take my 3D brush. Make sure that your brush is clean and doesn't have like contour or your lip and cheek shade, because you don't want to get that in the other areas of your face. So I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna dust the excess into the areas that I didn't set. So my lip and cheek areas, my contour area, okay. So I'm just making sure it's all blended. Make sure that my contour is blended down my neck. And this is the finished product. So literally look up and close. It doesn't look like I have makeup sitting on my face. It looks like my skin. I'm telling you, cream makeup is where it's at. If you have any questions or you want to be color matched, I will leave a description and you can just fill out the color match form and I will get you color matched. Have a good one.